Yeah, great. Hi everyone. Today we will be talking about building data-driven culture, what it really takes, and what challenges companies face, and why actually it's so essential. I'll be providing you with some real-life examples from my consulting experience, both in small companies like 500 employee startups and very large companies like the largest retailer in Russia with 360,000 people on board. And before diving in, I want to define the scope of my presentation because actually it's about data strategy. And what data strategy is depends on your priorities, like how you extract business value from your data, how you monetize data, and so on. But anyway, yet one very important, maybe simple question you need to answer to build your data strategy is how you make your data available and how do you make your data accessible fast and actually how you get your people use data when making decisions. So we will be exploring answers to these questions, and this is actually like a pyramid of actually any data strategy. Any strong data strategy usually includes 4 interconnected pillars which represent this slide and which are built on each other, which means that without stability at each layer, the whole thing may fall apart. The layers are, first one is organizational structure. Organizational structure is about people, is about how you make dedicated teams, how you organize data ownership. Then operational model, how you organize your day-to-day routines, like processes, collaboration, decision-making, and so on. Then technology and tools. Well, as it's IT conference, I believe you all understand that without good technologies, you will never be able to implement any strategy. And if you even have good data strategy, it doesn't make any difference if you don't have people who use the data. So let's go on with these layers one by one. The first one is organizational structure. So one thing I encountered in many companies, especially in growing companies, is when inside the company each department or each unit manages its data in full isolation. This means that you will have no clear ownership, which leads to scattered responsibilities, which leads to miscommunication, then to slow progress, and then to frustration from your business side. Then, as you don't have clear ownership, possibly you will have duplicated work. It will lead to architectural debts, and this will lead to overspending your budgets. So actually no place for good data-driven culture here. What usually happens next is trying to centralize, trying to gather all the data responsibilities under one roof, which is usually Chief Data Officer office. You hire one CDO and you expect that now the problems will be solved. Does it happen? Actually, no, because you still have all the chaos. You just isolated it from your business side, but now it squarely sits on CDO office, on CDO itself. And this means you have the same problems, lack of ownership, no clear responsibilities, and now you have already added a new problem, a bottleneck, because now everything flows through centralized team. So actually, I was this one CDO and it wasn't fun. So you see, there is no point in centralizing or decentralizing. What is the answer? What we did, and what is actually a very popular approach now in data management, is like hybrid approach, which sometimes is called, you may call it matrix structure or data mesh. And how you achieve it? You create data partner team which consists not only of tech guys but of business stakeholders, domain experts, data engineers, data quality specialists, and so on. And these teams are focused on what truly matters. And what truly matters is business outcomes by each business stakeholder. As business leaders now understand what they get from for their money and how to justify scaling, what I saw firsthand in one organization when we scaled from like 17 people to 70 in a very short time. Why it happens? Because maybe we were undersized before, maybe we lost many opportunities before. So this is how we scaled up. What you also see here is that we have these horizontal lines, which we called resource pools, but in many companies it's called centers of excellence, like a shared layer of experts who work together but independently in different teams. It worked well in teams like till 70 or 80 people, but beyond that it's better to make them more independent. And as this structure is also decentralized, it has some drawbacks of decentralization. It means you need a better governance. And actually, this is why you would need a CDO who will be responsible not only for coordination, but also for making all the people work together within a common operating model. So this is how we come to operating model. Operating model is to put an analogy, if structure is like gathering people, operating model is making them to work in harmony. And how we achieve it in companies? Well, in smaller companies, it's quite easy just by synchronizing and by making people talk to each other. In larger companies, it's better to do by implementing so-called data governance policy. What we did in a larger organization, we implemented operational playbook of dealing with data. And it included operational model itself, it included policies, standards, and so on. It consisted of two layers. The first layer, strategic layer, included business leadership who ensured that we worked towards real business outcomes. CDO office and myself coordinated and made it sure that domain-aligned efforts was in sync with overall data strategy and data architecture. IT units and IT leadership was responsible to provide us with infrastructure, good tools, and so on. On operational layer, data stewards, our experts, provided us with requirements, requirements for data quality, for data sets, and so on. In CDO office, we had data quality engineers and analysts who provided us with data quality checks and dashboards. And development teams, the guys who made all the work, created data assets, they can reside both in CDO office and IT units. Actually, it depends on your structure. Further, to the tools and technologies. Well, it's quite technical slide, but I will be quick here. Well, actually, it's very important to democratize data not only across users, but across workflows as well. What we did here, what you see here, we built enterprise data lakehouse, which comprised of both data lake and data warehouse. Data lake is like central and single landing zone for all the data from critical systems. So anyone who needs data could go there and use raw, maybe not very quality, not very clean data, but very fast. We also had data warehouse where everyone can use clean data, but maybe not so fast. And we also, on top of that, we created a data catalog which included metadata from all the systems we had in the company. So everyone could search data through this catalog and understand where the data resides. And if it's on, okay, great. It's possible to use this data inside the data lakehouse. If it's still in the systems, we built a fast onboarding process to make sure that data may be loaded into data lakehouse very fast. It consists of standardized connectors, automation, and so on. So putting all the data together, it's not the only answer, because you need people who will use it. And this is why we used data literacy program. Well, data literacy is about people who use data. When we speak about structure, we create a structure to create data assets. When we speak about operating model, we create processes, collaboration, and so on. But, well, it's like orchestra with musicians who plays beautiful music. Does it matter if you don't have listeners? Of course, it don't. So this is why you need sub-programs to maintain some projects, to create a data community, to create data knowledge systems, and so on. We use all of them, especially in larger organizations, and well, it wasn't difficult, but what was a challenge to how to measure, because we used all these metrics, and these metrics are quite operational. But then we found one metric that showed us what truly matters in data literacy program. It's self-service adoption rate. This is how we understand if the company became data-driven. Not how many training programs we had, not how many data assets we had, but it was how many people really uses data and really uses the tools. So actually this is it. What I wanted to tell you about today, that data-driven culture isn't about shiny tech. It's about structure, it's about good operation model, and about data literacy. So when implementing data-driven culture, make sure that your employees, before making huge decisions, ask what data thinks about it. Thanks you for your attention, and I will be happy to answer questions.